I just got a brand new rod tube with like 6, maybe more, brand new Dobyns rods in this tube for 2026. We're going to open them up, check them out, and go through how I plan to use them and how they're going to add to the arsenal that I already have. Can't wait. There is nothing like coming home and finding a rod tube on your doorstep or your driveway and getting ready to crack in. Quick finish getting these unwrapped and see what we got. All right, here we go. We got them all laid out on the deck of the Bird Phoenix. We got 3 spinning rods and 3 casting rods. Let's show you what we got. We'll start with the spinning rods because that's kind of the meta these days, and we'll save the big boy rods for the end. First up here is a Dobyns Champion XP 732 SF spinning rod. So for those new to Dobyns, that's 7 foot, 3 inches, 2 power. This is a medium light, fast action rod rated for 6 to 12 pound line, 1/8 ounce to 1/2 ounce. You know, this is kind of a finesse type rod, spinning rod. I've got a 702 in the old Champion series, love it. Going for a little bit longer rod here, a little more length, a little more distance. It's got a really nice action, but gets deep into the backbone. Little secret about these rods that if you've ever watched any of my lives with Gary Dobyns, he has shared that both the Champion 732 and 733, I believe, are built on the old Extreme blanks. So these are a little bit nicer blanks than some of the other Champion spinning rods. So if you're in for a little bang for your buck, take a look at these rods. So this rod for me is going to do a lot of the same things my other 2 power rods do. Neds, drop shot, little swimmers, potentially some dice style baits, you know, maybe some bigger minnows or some distance stuff. That's what we're going to look to do this. So, you know, I've got a bunch of Caden 712s. This rod is going to probably do something similar to those, but a little bit longer action, a little more casting distance, a little more control of the fish with a little bit longer rod. So excited, never had this model before, and excited to get after some early season bass and some smallmouth this year. After that, we're bumping up. We're also got the 733 because we wanted to get both of those rods. So this is the Dobyns Champion XP 733 SF. So same thing, 7 foot, 3 inches, but a 3 power, so a medium fast action rated 8 to 17 pound line, 3/16 to 5/8 ounce. You know, this is kind of labeled as a Senko light Texas rig rod. I see myself fishing, you know, finesse jigs, maybe snapping tubes, you know, maybe doing some of that urchin stuff with like some unis or some small like 17 millimeter type koiki style baits. Same length as the last rod, still has a really nice tip to it, but gets into that backbone a little more so we can fish our shaky heads, our little bit heavier wire hooks, or hooks that we're going to bury into plastic. Where that 2 power rod, I'm really fishing, you know, exposed light wire hooks. This one, a little bit heavier hooks and hooks that I might bury into the plastic. Maybe a little bit bigger, like 3.8 inch swimmers and things like that. So that's what this rod is going to do. Excited for both of those. A little more length, a little more casting distance, a little more control. Last spinning rod here, we're going to go even a little longer, but we're going to go lighter. This is the Dobyns Extreme HP 741. And I've got a 742, and I love it. It's an amazing rod. It's pretty much got a drop shot on it all the time. This 741, a little bit lighter action, still that 7'4" length, but a 1 power, so a light action rod. What are we going to use this for? It is rated for 4 to 10 pound line, 16 to 3/8 ounce light fast action. I really envision this being my new hair jig rod for that smallmouth marabou stuff, ultra small minnows, spy baits, things like that. 2.2 inch swimmers. It's got the length, it's got the right action to hopefully launch a marabou hair jig and do what I need to do there. So there are the 3 new spinning rods I'm going to add. Now I'm going to try to link down to all these below so you can have the listing, and if you want to grab them, and I'll try to have a discount code if these are in stock at OmniFishing or any other places we can find them. But so moving on to the casting rod, the last 2 are unique and kind of an interesting thing, but this is one I actually already own. So this one's not new. This is a Sierra 734C. And if you followed along with me in tournament fishing or the channel for a while, absolutely love this rod for chatterbaits. And I just wanted to get a second one to throw more chatterbaits, offer more sizes, different colors. And I can still use this for spinnerbaits, you know, big lipless, bigger square bills. It's just a versatile rod. It's got the sensitivity to do bottom stuff if I want, like dragging, but it's just got a slightly more moderate action than the others, like the XP 734 or the Fury 734, other 734s in the lineup. It's great for moving bait rods, but still gives you the sensitivity. Sierra 734C is a 7'3", 4-power rod, but kind of a little more moderate. Even though it's labeled as a heavy, fast action, it's got just a little more parabolic, little softness to it in the blank. So that's 10 to 20 pound line, quarter to 1 ounce. It's a great combo rod that can do a lot of things, and just having another one in the boat is just going to be handy all year long. Catch a lot of bass on this rod already. We're doubling down on it. So these next two rods are kind of a pair here. Let's start with the Kaden. So we got a Kaden here, which I think is the sweet spot in the Dobyns lineup for bottom dragging sensitivity. You know, your jig rods, your drop shot, your finesse, anything you're going to be dragging, feeling the bottom. I think the Kaden is a real sweet spot for bang for your buck. So this one is the Kaden 715, which is a 7'1", 5-power. And we'll get into a little bit more on that. So that's 12 to 25 pound, 3/8 to 1.5 ounce, mag heavy fast action, you know, heavy jig pitch and stick. So let me show you the other rod, and we'll talk about why we are looking at both these rods. We got a very comparable rod here, the Dobyns Champion XP DC 705C, so 7 foot even, 5-power. Pretty much a similar rating in weight, action, mag heavy, fast action. Also rated for a heavy jig, pitch and stick. So they're almost identical. The Kaden is an inch longer. So why am I getting both these rods? Well, unfortunately, I have a rod in the lineup, the Dobyns Extreme 705C, which is kind of this one's little fancier brother, which I absolutely love and use as a dock rod for skipping jigs, 3/8, 1/2 ounce Bass Tech tungsten jigs. I catch a lot of bass on it all year long. Great rod, love it. But unfortunately, it's discontinued. I guess I didn't do a good enough job telling everybody how great it was, and it's no longer available. So someday that rod may break and I may not have a replacement. So we are looking for the future backup jig rod. And these are the two candidates to back up the Extreme 705C, the Kaden 715C and the Champion 705C. Quick bend test. They feel pretty similar. Only time will tell when we get out on the water to see how it performs. So follow along and subscribe to the channel if you're interested. Eventually, there's probably going to be a direct head-to-head battle with these two rods to see which one becomes my dock jig skipping replacement. And if any of you guys have any of these rods and you have a favorite technique for them, I'd love to hear. One of the problems we do have is we got to find reels for all these rods as well. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about Dobyns rods and that Gary Dobyns interview I told you about, check out this interview with Gary Dobyns himself right here next.
But they're different. I mean, they're a completely different build. And some guys love the Sierras because they're just a little bit slower. When I